The moment she said it, a chill slid down my spine like ice water through my veins. My ex wants to talk. You don't need the details, she said, her voice light, almost too casual for what it carried. I forced a laugh, though my gut twisted into knots. Sure, okay, I muttered, but my mind had already started running, pulling at invisible threads, unraveling the fabric of trust one had built around us. I wanted to believe her, wanted to trust that it was nothing, just a conversation from the past, harmless, innocent. But the way she avoided my gaze, the faint tremor in her hands, the hesitation before she spoke, it screamed everything I didn't want to hear. My life had taught me that when something feels wrong, it usually is. And so in that quiet, unspoken moment I made a choice. I wouldn't wait. I couldn't wait. I needed to know. By the time I left the house, my mind was a storm of questions and suspicions. Her words played over and over, each repetition digging deeper, like a needle twisting in my chest. I didn't go to confront her. I went to confirm my worst fears. My fingers hovered over the phone, scrolling through messages, emails, social media profiles. I was digging, and I knew it. A part of me screamed that this was wrong, a betrayal in itself, but the other part, the part that couldn't breathe under the weight of uncertainty, pushed me forward. Within the first 10 minutes I found it. Subtle texts that seemed innocent on the surface, layered with the kind of intimacy that shouldn't exist between someone married and someone from their past. Miss you tonight, one read. Another. Wish we could talk like we used to. My hands shook as I scrolled further, each message a punch to the gut, each word a confirmation of the storm I had sensed for weeks but refused to name. I needed more. I needed to see the truth with my own eyes. I traced the patterns, followed the digital breadcrumbs, and within an hour, I was outside a nondescript hotel she often mentioned in passing, the one she claimed was just a stopover during her work trips. I watched, heart hammering, as she appeared from the revolving doors, laughter curling around her lips like it belonged to someone else, someone I didn't know. Behind her, a man stepped out, a man whose hand lingered on her back a second too long, whose smile was not just friendly but intimate, a smile I had never earned, a smile that was not mine to see. Time slowed. I wanted to yell, to run in, to rip her away from this stranger, but my body froze, heavy with disbelief and rage. The truth is always more violent than suspicion. I had imagined this moment countless times, rehearsed it in the dark, but nothing could prepare me for seeing her with someone she swore she barely knew, someone who clearly knew her better than she knew herself. I spent the next hour following them from a distance, piecing together the fragments of a life she had hidden from me. Lunches at quiet cafes, whispered conversations in corners of bookstores, lingering touches that were meant to be secret, but were now screaming in my eyes. Every discovery carved a deeper hollow in my chest, a black space where trust, love, and security had once lived. I wanted to scream, to shake her and demand answers, but instead I wrote it all down, every detail, every whispered laugh, every look that wasn't mine. Later, back at our apartment, she tried to act normal, as if nothing had happened, as if her confession, or lack thereof, was enough to placate me. She poured wine into my glass, a soft smile playing at her lips. It was just a conversation, remember? She said, lightly brushing my hand. I withdrew, the warmth I once felt in her touch now burned like acid. No, I said quietly, but with a weight that made her pause. It wasn't just a conversation. I know everything. Her smile faltered, the light in her eyes dimming, and for the first time in years I saw fear there. Not fear of me, but fear of the truth. I laid out what I had seen, the texts, the lunches, the touches. Every word I spoke was a stone dropped into our fragile marriage, each revelation a small collapse of the foundation we had built together. She didn't deny it. She tried to explain, to apologize, to justify, but I couldn't hear it. The sound of her excuses clashed with the truth my eyes had already etched into memory. That night we sat across from each other at the kitchen table, silence stretching like a canyon between us. I didn't know if I could forgive her, if I even wanted to. All I felt was hollowed out, a man emptied of trust, of love, of certainty. Her presence, once a comfort, was now a reminder of betrayal. Why? I finally asked, my voice barely a whisper. Why hide it? Why risk everything we had? Her shoulders slumped and she looked down, ashamed. I didn't want to hurt you, she said. I thought I could handle it. I thought it was harmless. But harmless doesn't break bones and doesn't tear hearts. Harmless doesn't take someone you trusted and leave them in ruins. I left the apartment that night, walking aimlessly through the empty streets, the city lights reflecting the confusion and heartbreak in my chest. I realized that betrayal wasn't just the act itself. It was the years of lies, of omissions, of trust slowly being eroded without my knowledge. And as I wandered alone, I knew that whatever came next, my life had changed forever. Love, yes, but also a sharper understanding of fragility, of human weakness, and of the precise moment when someone you thought you knew can become a stranger. In the weeks that followed, we tried to talk, to piece together what remained of us, but the truth has a way of lingering, of refusing to be silenced. I saw the pain in her eyes, and I saw the damage in my own reflection. We were two people living on the edge of a canyon we had created together, balancing between memory and reality, between what we wanted to believe and what we could no longer ignore. And yet, even in that devastation, I found a strange clarity. The world doesn't stop for heartbreak. It continues, indifferent, brutal, beautiful. I learned that some truths cannot be hidden, that some betrayals cannot be undone, and that some people, even those you love the most, are capable of things that will leave you breathless and broken. I don't know if we will survive this, if love alone is enough to bridge the distance betrayal creates. But I do know that I cannot pretend, cannot forgive without reckoning, cannot live in a lie. And in that reckoning, I found a strange, painful kind of freedom, the freedom to see clearly, to understand fully, and to decide what kind of life I will lead from here. So here I am, standing on the edge, heart shattered but eyes open, knowing that the next step is mine alone. Some people call it heartbreak, some call it betrayal, but I call it truth. And sometimes, truth is the only thing that saves you, even when it hurts more than anything else ever could. Help me hit 5K subscribers.